Hello and welcome to another riveting episode of Stacking Triggers. We are finally out of the year of Magic 30. Dan, how are you doing?
Sick. I had the flu all yesterday. I made a miraculous 1 day recovery. I'm like at 70% right now. So I cover as much, my percentage is as much water as there is on planet Earth.
Nice. I also have just recovered from illness. I had food poisoning the past 2 days.
Nice. We love that.
Yep. I lost a whole 10 pounds
God damn.
in 2 days. So I am also on the water recovery plan. Dan, it is a new year
Yes.
for our listeners, and I'm excited to say it's going to be a great year for Magic. I hope.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'll tell you who will have the biggest say in that is the players themselves, not Wizards.
That's true. That is true. I know with it being the New Year's and everything, figured we might start the show off a little lighter because I know we have a lot of bigger topics to discover.
I mean, Dan just mad at the MTG community, just so mad.
Yeah, big mads. I think we're all big mads at the community at this point.
No, I don't know. I think a certain a certain subsect of the community is mad at wizards and tournament event organizers and vendors at tournaments, and others are just mad at players for being so fucking entitled. But we'll get to that.
We will get to that. First, though, let's start with resolutions. Since it is the new year, I wanted to kind of put myself out there for a Magic-related resolution. For that, I'm going to be trying to, as a resolution, something that, one, I can control, and two, is measurable.
Okay.
And that is to be more supportive of my LGS events than I have in the past year. I think total events in the past year has been 5 or 6 to my specific LGS or ones in the area. And I would like to try to increase that to at least twice a month. Because
that's fair.
Having 2 kids, wife, it's difficult. I think I'm going to be able to maybe do it at least once a week, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Dan, do you have any goals for Magic?
Play Magic the Gathering. Boy, I haven't played any Magic the Gathering since like the RC season ended. I like the RCQ season ended for Modern. I played like 2 leagues of Pioneer, and then from there I was just kind of like, boy, I kind of don't like this right now. But I actually played a league just today. You guys will see it on the YouTube channel. It didn't go well. Because it never goes well when you take a big break and you come back to a thing. It's like, and you play Murktide and you're like, I know the meta. I've been watching people play the meta, and it's like, nope, the meta is not what you wanted it to be during your 5-game league. So your deck looks like dog shit.
Yeah, your fraction of the meta is not always representative of the meta.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that in this week in our Fortnights and Magic. But yeah, it's actually playing Magic because I've been playing a lot of One Piece. And One Piece is cool. Like, I enjoy playing One Piece. The community, I think, is actually, at least in my area, way better than the Magic the Gathering community. Because, like, people aren't jaded by the game yet. Like, people aren't so fucking angry at the game. They just complain, bitch all the time. Meanwhile, like, Magic the Gathering is just complaining and bitching all the time. It's just like, oh my God.
See,
just shut up.
I don't know. Like I think Eternal Weekend saved me a little bit because like every opponent was like really jazzed to just be there except for like one guy.
Yeah. And I think it also comes down to like particular formats, and specifically the formats that like Wizards is supporting. You know, the standard Pioneer,
that's true.
Modern meta games, like those ones are the ones that I mainly partake in Modern, and I don't know, just seeing like people complain about Rakdos Scam for the longest time, and then Rakdos Scam tops an event, and then like the meta share goes up from like 2% to 5%, and people are like, oh, well, what the it's like, oh my God, guys, just shut up. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Ugh. That sounds bad.
I mean, it's fine. I can also control it by just not paying attention to what people fucking say on the internet.
Put less stock maybe into what people say.
Yeah,
I think it's important to understand a community's general feeling towards something that in some places could be advantageous, right? Like
sure.
maybe you're not playing Rakdos Scam, but you just the first thing you fetch is a blood crit, and they're like, "Oh, son of a bitch."
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we're just in a weird
yeah,
time where I don't know. I think people are putting too much stock into certain tournaments and not enough stock into what they're actually enjoying playing. And I don't know. Uh,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know. Like modern's just weird right now. I think all the formats are just in a weird spot right now because like there's nothing happening. Like there's no like you have the challenges which like are like ultimately just like RCQs and you
yeah.
have that's it. Like you have the super qualifiers which happened and like those I will take much more seriously than just random challenges. But like um I don't know, man. I think we just all need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I think with this switch to standard too, I for the RC season, I think that's going to help people a lot. Uh, I think it's going to get a lot of the grinders out of modern and maybe make modern a little more enjoyable.
I don't know. I think the big problem with the standard RCQ season is the complete lack of interest in standard in the first place. So, like,
That's where I'm hoping to
I
capitalize.
mean, yeah, sure, but like, I guarantee you're gonna get like RCQs of like 10 people, and that's gonna be terrible. Like, that's gonna be terrible for any store that kind of like puts any investment into a standard RCQ because like they have to buy the RCQ kit, they have to pay for a judge, they have to pay people to be on staff in the store during that time, and it's just like if 10 people show up and you're charging like $20 to be at the RCQ, like okay, so you got $200 for the event. How much profit are you actually making off of that event?
There's a store here who has made it their goal to run duels as prizes for every RCQ.
Which is insane. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. But like, this store is like really big on wanting to bring Magic back to the
Mhm.
area because they've seen it kind of like get a little toxic and dry.
I
Uh,
can't believe that Magic toxic and dry. I can't. I don't believe
yeah.
it.
So yeah, this the owner has been making huge pushes, especially with standard. Like he has a whole like standard challenge league that the store is running itself as
Mhm.
well, with like a big like prize at the end too, like cash prize for the store. Outside of the regular RCQ, which I thought was really
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, in terms of resolutions, it's actually just playing Magic. I need to get back to playing Magic on a more regular basis, so I actually don't feel like complete dog shit whenever I play Murktide and just be like, I have no idea what I'm playing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making bad plays. I'm tired now. Now I just lose all my games.
Do you do your whole league in one sitting?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
That's how I typically do it too. I've noticed sometimes if I walk away and come back from a league, it'll be better.
yes, but like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I want to get in kind of like the Friday Night Magic feel of it. Like obviously you're there for like four
Yeah.
hours versus like this league wrapped up under two. I got 5 games in under 2 hours. So like obviously like that's a different feel to it. But like
Wow.
I want that kind of feel where it's like, all right, I'm there, I'm invested. This is my time to focus on this.
All right. Well, with kind of touching on those leagues and the feels a little bit, let's just jump in real quick to a Fortnite and Magic. You kind of led into it a little bit there.
Yeah, I played a Murktide League. It's with that PTQ Super Qualifier list that won the PTQ Super Qualifier. And let me say this: I'm sure it's a good list. I'm sure it's like a great list for that specific metagame, like a winner's metagame. However, when I played in the league, it felt so bad to play because it just never lined up right. And Murktide does that already. Like Murktide just already has like those games where it just doesn't line up, and like it felt like it was happening way more often with this deck than any other deck or
Hmm.
like any other variant of Murktide that I've played before. And I realized like, oh, like this is very much like I'm playing an RCQ metagame where people are like trying to spike out with like their best decks, and leagues are for people who are fucking around, just being like, I want to play this fucking stupid thing that I saw somebody play and get a 5-0 with last week. Like,
Yeah, yeah, you get a lot of unexpectedness
yeah,
in the leagues. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of randomness, and that's fine. It's just like there obviously needs to be like a difference between like deck you'll play in a league versus deck you'll play for an event, and like that super qualifier list, I would play that for my local metagame for sure, because like that deck was specifically built to like beat Yawgmoth and Amulet Titan, and if there are two decks that people love playing in my area, it's Yawgmoth and Amulet Titan. So like that, like like if so, like should that happen to where I go to like if there's a randomly a modern RCQ or like a big modern tournament in the area for some fucking reason, I would take that list 100% of the time
Mhm.
and just try to play with that and see how it goes, because like
Yeah,
you know, but like for leagues, there's obviously like things that don't feel good, and that was a list that did not. And of course, the matchups didn't line up right either. I played no Yawgmoth, I played no Amulet Titan, so obviously like that's going to be a factor in it too. But like it's just one of those leagues where it's like there's just this just feels so bad to play that like
yeah,
I feel like with leagues in on modern on MTGO you need to specifically play like the most generic version of your list that just advances your game plan, and that's it. Like don't do anything else, just play a game plan and don't metagame for a specific league. Metagame only for challenges, super qualifiers,
yeah,
RCQs, that kind of thing.
yeah. It's talking in some of the discords, like from Thraben U, Bosch and Roll. Like people are very against like play testing in leagues because it's not an accurate representation of what
Right.
you're going to see. Yeah,
Yeah, I think, and this is a problem that I'm going to have with the game going forward. Is just like I need better playtesting, and better playtesting means play like actively challenging people who play the deck you want to play test against. And I don't know enough of those people who are online or own these decks or play these decks. So it's just always going to be a problem.
yeah. I've seen some people say like print out proxies and have like give your playtest opponent the starting hand that's like the nuts for that deck,
Hmm.
and like maybe even guide them through what they're supposed to do at first, to try and like make sure that you're going up against those like hardest to beat hands
Right.
for the decks you're weakest against.
And
Um, it's something I've seen, but that also seems like a lot more work than maybe you and I can do,
yes,
because like we're not professionals
we're not
at this.
professionals. We don't like. I'm not a master of any deck, obviously. Like
Right.
fuck. I just went 1-4 in a Murktide League, and in a deck I've played a lot of. Like I'm not a master of it. I just have a lot of experience on it, but that doesn't mean anything. Like Murktide rewards you for knowing metagames, and if you're in a blind ass metagame, it's kind of why I don't like it in like that's why I kind of don't like playing it in leagues, because like obviously
Mhm.
leagues are going to have the variance that we talked about, but like yeah, for my sake of just like like practicing the deck, I need to play it in leagues, and sometimes you're just going to get shit results out of it. Where it's not like, oh, I'm going to throw out every single one of these results because it's just variance. It's like, no, no, no.
No,
Obviously,
yeah,
that like
yeah,
I made like 4 or 5 changes to the list after that league finished. Like for whatever reason, they were running 7 fetches over 6 fetches and a fire islet, and it's like you're not running Ledger Shredder. You need some like outlet
yeah,
to like even if you're flooding to like get through that. 4 Murktide is too many. Change the equation is weird. Like there's
yeah. Yeah, when you showed me the like brought that card up from the list, I was like, this is the weirdest thing. Where would you even use this? And you said Amulet and Yogg. I was like,
Amulet, Yaw,
that
creativity.
makes
Those are the big three
that
for
that
me.
makes that makes sense, but outside of that, you're going mana negative, right?
Often, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're doing potentially a 2 mana for 1 mana thing.
Yep. 4/0
Yeah.
mana thing.
Or that. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well,
I was going to say, what
did
about
you?
you?
Oh, I was about to say, well,
I
my
was going to throw it over to you. Look at me being a good co-host.
Look at you. Yeah, I've been just doing a little bit of brewing on the side. Nothing fantastic.
Uh-huh.
I tried putting together a list for Legacy of a Demir High Tide running Sheoldred and Wheels as a win con.
Interesting.
Not fantastic. Definitely needs a lot of work. I love the idea, and I think it's there. I think there's something there that could happen. Maybe, yeah, but maybe as a surprise thing, it would throw a lot of people off. But
Sure.
it's not fantastic. And then also just a little bit on Arena for standard, messing with the Squirming Emergence card. Basically, a self mill deck, and Squirming Emergence would bring back anything from any permanent from the graveyard, any non-land permanent from the graveyard, with mana value equal to the number of permanents in the graveyard or less. So you self mill down to like, I don't know, you self mill 10 cards, right?
Then you get like a Traxa or a Tali.
Or Portal to Phyrexia's in your fucking graveyard, and
Yeah.
you can bring it back out. So there's some cool stuff there. Cool synergies. Best of one, it's really good. I haven't been able to think of a sideboard for it yet.
I feel like that's one of those decks where it's just like, this has no sideboard plan. This is just like the main board, and sometimes you sideboard in a couple cards depending on the matchup.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't know the standard meta enough yet, and
Yeah.
I can't find people who do best of 3 because everybody's doing best of 1 because it's Arena and people's attention spans are
Yeah,
really
people don't
low.
care. Yeah.
uh, Also, I don't want to be on Arena, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
So because it's just expensive. But I have been testing a little bit on Arena because I had some wild cards to burn.
Right.
I think there's something there, but also ultimately, like, you and I are, I'm going to try and do that open qualifier in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to go for the secret layer
Yep.
thingy. But what sucks is like the week before is the pre-release of the new set, so everything's going to change like right before we have to go in these
For standard,
tournaments.
yes.
For standard, yes.
I don't think Modern's
Modern,
going to change at
maybe.
all. I don't know.
You don't know.
I
You
don't
don't
think
know
Modern's
that.
going to change at all.
You don't know.
I mean, it might. Like there, but like,
Listen,
I
there
feel
could
like
be another Beanstalk.
I feel like we would have already seen the Beanstalk card if that was the case.
No, they haven't even begun spoilers yet.
But like normally, like, when did Up the Beanstalk even get previewed?
It was like one of the last cards previewed, I thought.
No, well, I mean, if that's the case, then okay. But yeah, like normally,
Yeah.
I feel like if we're seeing like high powered cards, they're like the first cards shown.
I don't think anybody thought Up the Beanstalk was a high powered card.
I think those people are crazy.
That's possible.
Two mana draw a card. Seems good. 2 mana draw a
Yeah.
card. Oh, and you instantly draw cards throughout the game.
I don't know. Whatever. Biggest thing is though, I'm poking around standard more now. If you have recommendations on who does best of 3, send them to the comments below, because I would really, really love to get some better content than what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
But speaking of metas changing, card availability for events, Dan, let's get into the juicy topic.
Oh my god. Okay. I've been saving up since like, because this like all this shit like popped up like right after the episode posted 2 weeks ago.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
like what like I even messaged him like, we could literally do another episode right now about every fucking thing that happened over RC weekend.
Yeah, let's kind of hit, I think, the top levels, and then dig in as after we kind of hit those top ones.
Sure.
So first off is card availability, right?
Yep.
That was a big issue. Second, I believe there was complaints. I don't know how widespread. I saw some about just the length of the event.
Yep.
Um, Third is probably an offshoot I saw. I don't know how much it was, but cards being registered under the wrong archetype or decks being
I
registered
mean,
under the wrong archetype.
that happens all the time.
Okay.
But that's what it is. I
Yeah.
thought the other thing I thought you were going to say was like people being like, "Hey, would you rat on somebody using proxies in an event?"
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's another one too.
that
But
was a whole thing that's like to me in another
oh
insane
man,
fucking topic.
no, I forgot about this, and now it's all coming back, and I'm
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, like these
Okay.
just absolutely insane things people were talking about, like in regards to card availability, and I'm just like, guys, just shut up. Like, you can't, like, I can't with you. Like, this
Yeah.
can't be what the community is now.
Yeah. This like there was a lot actually coming out of that proxy comment too. I saw it spiral on a couple different places. Um, where do you want to start? Because this is a lot to unpack.
So let's start with the event. I think the event length. I think that will be the least amount of time.
I agree.
I think both of you and I fall. I think originally we both fell on the boy. The players knew what they were signing up for when they qualified for this event. However, what I found out later was that the convention center needed everyone out by 7 on Sunday. So the only way they were going to get everybody out by 7 on Sunday was to do 10 rounds on Saturday. So
Jeez.
so to me, that comes down to the tournament being run, which is ultimately I like maybe like it was like a card titan situation where somebody else was running the tournament, and it's just like Watsy being like, "Oh yeah, do this thing," but in
Yeah.
reality, I feel like it was very much this should have been a 3-day event. You guys should have known better. You guys should have scheduled better. While I do agree that the players shouldn't be like, I was there from like 9 a.m. to like 11 p.m. Blah blah blah. I understand you're complaining, but also like if you don't want to be at an event for 10 hours, don't do well.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Like I think that's my biggest thing is right. Like I signed up for an event that I knew was going to be extremely long with Eternal Weekend. I knew I was going to be there, and I keep going back to Eternal Weekend. I'm sorry, but that's
Yeah.
like
That's
my
fresh in your
only
mind.
that's my only big event experience at this point. But I went in knowing I was going to be there from 9 a.m.
Yep.
and if I was doing well, probably past 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I knew that. And it's awful. It sucks. This is also like I don't know where you had seen it from. I don't want to like say any names at this point.
There were a couple streamers mainly.
Uh,
Those are
Streamers. Okay.
the streamers were the like the main people that I saw saying it, but like
Okay.
it was just like, guys, like,
That's it. That's I think also like my other thing is it's like these streamers saying it and it's like all right, maybe streaming has made you a little soft.
maybe.
Because it's like you're not used to going and sitting in the chairs anymore. And it's like I also 100% get it. It's rough being there that long, but you got to have ways to kind of pick yourself up, refresh yourself, keep
Yeah.
yourself in the game. I think
Don't play decks that go to time constantly. Think about that.
yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. Don't play control if it's not what you.
Well, except for the fact that Control won the whole goddamn thing. So
That's true. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to see the Pioneer meta right now. I bet it's all control.
it was Control won because Control had the best matchup against Amalia combo. Because
Mm.
Amalia combo it can only be stopped by certain decks. Like we saw it like um, humans, which is like our deck of choice, was like a 45% win rate, and like against the
Oh
top like
yeah,
5 decks of the meta, it had like sub 40% win rates, and against the rest of the meta, it was great. It was just like, boy, this fucking doesn't do shit, and I can't imagine registering humans right now. And it's the
Yeah,
same thing with
yeah.
Boros Convoke, where it's like I can't imagine like the two decks that I was looking at playing, and thank God I didn't go because I'd have been so unprepared. Of course, like I probably would have been like, maybe I shouldn't play these decks. These decks feel super bad. I'll play something else. But like I couldn't imagine registering those two decks at the RC and being like, oh yeah, I feel really good about my chances.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to see when was that specifically? What date?
The 15th through the 18th, the 16th
That's
and the 17th.
the 16th and the 17th is when it
Yep.
started. Okay. I just want to see like what percentage of decks was humans.
I
Oh,
feel
there
like
it
it was
is.
quite a bit because this is like a 1,300 person tournament, and that's the other thing too. Is like
Yeah,
this is a
it was
1,300 person
huge.
tournament. Maybe we shouldn't have this many invites going out. Maybe
That was my other point I wanted to make was the humans was 3% of the meta.
3%. Yeah, there you
Uh,
go.
yeah. So that's the other point I wanted to bring up too. DreamHack knew the number of invites they sent out. They should have secured the event plaza ahead of time for that much time, or started the event on Friday.
They should have started the event on Friday. 100%. It should
Yeah.
have been day one. Is I don't know how many rounds of. I'm going to assume 12 rounds of Swiss for that many people, maybe more. You do six on Friday, six on Saturday, and then cut to top 8 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like
Yep. Yeah.
that should be how every event is. Like every major event is run from this day forward. Is
Yeah. They should have
yeah.
thrown out. They should have thrown out all the last chance qualifiers. Said, forget these last chance qualifiers because one, that's going to reduce your player count for
Yep.
the final thing. But two, it gives you more time.
And
That's 100% on DreamHack for not securing the space and time.
well, and maybe you could do like the main event. Like if it's 6 rounds, you really only need 6 hours, and like assuming the convention center's open till like 10, we're gonna say. I'm guessing convention
Right.
center's open till 10. Let's say you start the first 6 rounds at uh 2.
Mm-hmm.
You do one flight of last chance qualifiers at 9 a.m. and you tell these people
Yeah.
you have to win. We'll do flights of 64 and as many flights of 64 as we can load up
Three
for.
CQs.
But you know what I mean. Like, yeah, just
Yeah.
load up as many flights of 64 as we can. Fly. You'll get 5 rounds. Those 5 rounds should be done by 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get you keyed in. We'll get you into the system, and then you play. And that's the only RCQ, like the only last chances that happen. There are
Yeah.
no other last
Yep.
chances. And then you have 6 more rounds, and like it still because like the big thing with the last chances is that they want people to spend money there
Yep.
because like tournament, like having people show up to tournaments uh to buy cards for the deck they want to play for the tournament and have them play in the event, so that way they feel like not trapped, but like, hey, if I don't make it for the last chance, I'll go play more side events while my friends play in the main event. Like that's
Do you want to know?
I,
Do you want to know how many last chance qualifiers they had?
how many?
31.
Fucking 30. That's not possible. That shouldn't be a thing. That
They
shouldn't
had
be a thing.
31. It looks like it was a 32 player cap. Yeah, it was a 32 player
16,
cap, except for the first one.
8, 4,
Yeah.
2, 1. That's 5 rounds. I'm thinking that's
Yeah.
5 rounds. So like that's about right, actually. So I said 64, it should be 32.
Yeah. They had the first one they had was a 48 player last chance qualifier, but all the others were 32. I don't know why they had a one-off 48 player.
That's so weird.
Thing.
Well, they give like a bunch of people a round one bye by doing that. That's so weird.
Right, that's dumb. But yeah, they had 31 last chance qualifiers.
That's too many.
All on the 15th when they could have cut that down, maybe done 2 simultaneously.
No.
And ended at and done the main event starting on Friday.
Yes, but they could have just also shoved them all at 9 a.m. and been like, if you're not here at 9 a.m., you're not making it for this, and you don't do it. Like,
yep.
to me, that's That has to be the tournament structure from now on. You it has to be split over 3 days. You can't expect players to be there for over 12 hours and be happy about it, because like convention center food sucks too, and you're not
And it's
taking
expensive.
and it's expensive, and you're not giving lunch breaks. You're not like, you give the breaks between the
You,
rounds, and that's
you
it.
barely get a break between rounds.
Yeah,
If your game went to time, you barely get a break
yeah,
between
and a lot of the
rounds.
time, like, you going to time isn't your fault. Like, you're just playing
Yeah,
against like
you
the 4-color Omnath player. It's like, guys,
could be no. It could even just be a deck check.
yeah,
That's not even any player's fault in that round. Like,
yeah, these tournaments just need to get organized better.
mhm.
I understand, like, for the US at least, having DreamHack tied to this, like, it legitimizes Magic the Gathering. It doesn't really, but we'll say it does.
Yeah,
But like, maybe we need to have somebody undersign it, like a Card Titan, like an NRG, like a God
make
forbid,
TCG
Star City Games.
make TCG player do something.
I mean, yeah, but like, like, we need better tournament organizers and people who actually give a shit to organize these tournaments, because otherwise we're
Yeah,
never gonna, like, it's just never gonna happen. Like, this is
yeah,
gonna be a constant problem every time.
yeah. I 100% agree. I feel like the people complaining knew that it was a large RCQ.
Yes,
The organizers, though, should have planned it better. Also,
yes, especially
uh,
considering that you like, RC season ended in September or
and they were
August.
still there was still stuff being handed out, right? Because like in November, Star City Games had. Oh wait, no, that was for the modern
That was for
one,
modern.
I think. Yeah, oop, that wasn't DreamHack. My bad.
But yeah, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
We need DreamHack to be better than this, because this is, or like Wizards or whoever's organizing these tournaments, to be better, because that,
yeah.
like, having players there for over 12 hours is unacceptable. Just completely unacceptable.
I agree. It does separate the the people who can and cannot play,
Yeah, but like,
but
you have somebody
it is
leaving.
extremely hard. Yeah,
You have somebody leaving the convention center at midnight, and then you have them come back at 8 a.m. the next day, and it's like, okay, well, they've gotten like 6 hours of sleep, and you want them to function well in order to play these games? Like, okay, sure. What
yeah,
are you fucking talking about?
yep, yeah. I agree. I feel like it's on both sides here. The complaint.
I think this issue is way more on tournament organizer side than it is on player side. I think the players do need to kind of understand what they're getting themselves into with this, but also, like, the tournament organizers
Yeah.
just need to be better.
Hopefully, this was a learning experience, and we don't see the same thing with the what's the one coming up next? Denver.
Yes. RC
When
Denver.
is RC
That's
Denver?
in January? No, March.
No.
It's in March.
Okay.
RC Denver.
Yeah, I'm checking it up. I'm getting
Okay, I'm getting Denver RC vehicles.
yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted. MTG, thank you.
We forget to add MTG at the end of things because we just
Uh,
think the computer knows.
Mountain Regional Champion. Excuse me.
You are
February
excused.
9th through the 11th?
That is before our
That's
events.
before our fucking event. What?
Yeah. This is a really quick turnaround between the two RCs.
Yeah, yeah. 9th of the presented by Laughing Dragon. Okay, so maybe it's Laughing Dragon who, because I don't know if
I
Laughing
don't
Dragon
think.
also ran the one in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, maybe.
And if it's on Laughing Dragon, then everything I've said about DreamHack and WotC to a degree still gets some blame, but like, Laughing Dragon,
DreamHack DreamHack gets part of blame too.
DreamHack,
You
okay,
know
okay, but like,
you know why? Because they're the ones employing Laughing Dragon to do it.
that's true. So, but Laughing Dragon gets the most blame out of this if they ran
Yeah.
RC Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. DreamHack Atlanta, presented by who? I'm looking now. I'm digging. Who is it presented by? Come on.
Oh, Here's DreamHack Atlanta.
Yeah, there was a quick link right to it. It doesn't say who it was prevented by.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna, I want to say it's Laughing Dragon. Somebody can say if if somebody in the comments says, "Oh, it's for sure Laughing Dragon," cool.
Yeah, yeah, because like
That
I'm seeing one of the vendors was Laughing Dragon.
yes,
So that
so
makes me
I don't want to call out Laughing Dragon without being sure at this point. But like, if it
right.
was whoever it was presented by bears the majority of the blame.
I think the reason why this turnaround is so fast is because it's going to feed into the Pro Tour season.
Well, yeah,
Right?
because we have Pro Tour Outlaws of Thunder Junction, because that's like actually no, it's a standalone
Mhm.
Pro Tour that doesn't feed into that. This one feeds into the one after that, which I think is going to be Pro
Okay.
Tour MH3.
Oh, that's gonna be a spicy.
That's going to be a spicy
Anyway,
one because it's modern, so like that makes
yeah,
perfect sense.
yeah. All right. I think we've spent a lot of time here.
Yeah, this was actually supposed to be like the shortest one.
Fun fact: we have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Uh, let's talk about next. I think the next shortest one. I'm putting on a stink face because this is gonna be rough. I kind of want to say the proxy one is next because the proxy one is
Is insane.
spicy.
It's insane
It's
to me.
insane. It's insane. But I think we all know where the blame goes here with this one, and it kind of feeds into card availability, which will
Yes.
be the last one. So,
Yes.
let's start here.
All right, so proxies. People were talking about like, okay, so if there are card availability issues, and you go to a tournament, and you're playing against somebody who's playing with proxies, and are you like calling over the judge?
Hell
And
yeah.
like, a lot of people are like, "Oh no, I wouldn't do that. I'm not a cop, man. Like all cops are bastards." Like that kind of thing. And it's like, I mean, maybe.
One, yeah. Like first of all, you're not a cop. You're in a tournament with
Yeah.
rules.
Um, to say this, one of the judges who judges a lot around here
Yeah.
literally said like in his opening speech, he goes, "We are playing at competitive REL. That means your opponent may not have your best interest at heart," which like is true.
Yes.
That's so correct. Like
Yes.
I might not be like, "Hey, this person's proxying." Like I might not be like that. But if I'm losing and this is a winning in, and I'm like, "That's a proxy,"
Yeah.
like I might be a shitty person and just go, "Hey, that's a proxy." DQ
Yeah.
this person.
Yeah. No, like if you're feeling the pressure and you want that win enough, you're
Yeah,
gonna call it out.
yeah.
But
I'm
also,
sorry.
like,
I legitimately might do that. And that might get me some shit, but like I might legitimately get a win via calling out
I
somebody as a proxy.
no, I don't think anybody would give shit at all to what who uh Reed Duke, right? If Reed Duke saw somebody playing with a proxy and he said, "Judge, do something," I don't think anybody would give him crap,
I don't
right?
know. I feel like the Magic community, like based off of the mental gymnastics I saw over that weekend, I don't know what the Magic community will do anymore. It just
It sounds
feels
like
like they're just insane at this point.
see, my thing is it's competitive REL. The rules specifically state that you need to have legal game pieces, and they have to be
Yes.
in a certain condition.
Yep.
Right? You cannot have marked cards.
Yeah.
You know, are you against marked cards? Then you're against proxies.
I think those are a
Eh,
little different.
that's a little bit of a leap. All right.
Because like mark cards are definitely cheating. Proxies are not cheating. Proxies are
Mm.
again a card availability issue. So
Okay.
like I don't feel like card availability and like skirting availability is cheating, but it is against the rules.
Right.
Like
What,
if
what's
someone
what's
showed
what's
up to
another?
FNM
Mhm.
with proxies and they were playing against me, it's FNM. I don't give a shit. But like, if I'm at an RC or if I'm in an RCQ and we're in the top 8 and I see a fucking proxy, I'm just
Yep. Judge.
like, come on, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I saw a lot of people too being like, "Oh, I play with proxies and I've gotten deck checks and nobody said anything." Did you see any of those
I
comments?
did not.
Yeah, it was some Twitter or not Twitter, some Reddit thread, and I want to say people were just blowing smoke for clout,
Yeah, that sounds right.
but like at the same time, it's like this is a competitive thing,
Mhm.
and it's built on the trust that you owe, that you physically have the cards there that are meant to be played with.
Yeah.
And if you can't get them, like that's the whole point of the rarity system on these cards.
And I can understand somebody arguing back, being like, "Well, then the rarity system shouldn't exist. People should have cards available to them all at all times." But then the game actually loses like the collectability aspect of it.
Right.
So like, I don't know, man. There's definitely a fine line, and I'm sure that Wizards can do more. But like, if you're playing proxies at a competitive REL tournament, when you're specifically told do not play proxies, I'm sorry, but like like a person being like, "Yo, this ain't legit." That's
You
on
can't be
you.
mad at them.
You should
Yeah.
not. You should not be mad at them. And if you are mad at them, you need to look at yourself.
Maybe be mad that you couldn't buy the, like, spend the extra $20 and get the card. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Again,
But
it's that line where we get into card availability is murky. But I feel like if you're just proxying if you're just proxying, you're like you weren't
yeah,
being serious about this in the first place.
right. And there's this other thing too. Like there's two different types of legacy events as well. Right. Legacy is an expensive AF format.
Mhm.
And there's a place nearby in Ohio, to me, that does it's the Buffalo Chicken Dip legacy events. They would allow 100% proxies,
Sure.
but they're also not Wizard sanctioned.
Yeah.
So like that makes sense. Like that's in their rules. It's 100% allowed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like there's places for proxies. I feel like
There is.
I don't
Like in
like.
vintage, sure. 100% vintage should be proxy. I think there should be proxies allowed in vintage and legacy. In
I think
in
maybe a
in
certain.
Wizard sanctioned events. I'm not saying 100% proxies. I'm saying like the store local to me does like you have a maximum of 10 proxies.
Do they have a limit on the which cards can be proxied?
No, they just say 10
Okay.
proxies.
Okay. Yeah, because like that I could even agree with too. Is yeah, but
I
that's
think
also that store I think is running a risk because I believe in Wizards terms of service for running events they're not supposed to allow
I'm sure they're not
proxies.
supposed to, but like they just do it because
Yeah,
they'd rather have the people come in than not.
yeah, I agree there. But yeah, like also if you want to play with proxies, go play Commander.
Yeah, or go play casual with friends. Like
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but like if you're playing proxies in a competitive REL event, like the risk is all on you. It's all on
I
you.
agree.
Like
Yeah,
and you can't be mad if somebody's like, you can't be mad. Like
yeah.
you're knowingly breaking the rules. And like I support you for wanting to proxy and not wanting to spend like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on these cards. I get that. But
Yep.
like if you're trying to compete at the highest level, you got to make the
You
investment.
you
Unfortunately,
spent thousands of dollars on a flight and ticket to get to this event. You could have spent the money to get the card,
yep.
which leads us into the availability aspect
Okay.
of this
This was
conversation.
the most insane fucking shit I've ever heard in my entire life. So, for whatever
Which
reason,
one? Which one?
people went to the event thinking, "Oh, I'm missing such and such a card." I'm sure I think that I saw 6 vendors. One of them will have this card for sure. They go to the vendors. Turns out the vendors don't have the card, and they're like, "Well, this game fucking sucks. The vendors don't have anything available. They don't care about these formats. They just have these cards, and like no one's buying these cards. And it's just like, who the fuck cares? Like, do they not want to support
Oh,
the game?" And it's like,
they only brought the high value commander cards.
yeah, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you want every game store to bring every like potentially legal card from Pioneer? Like, does every Pioneer legal card that a store owns need to be put on a truck, sent with that store to the fucking vendor to that way they can sell all these cards. Because like, spoiler alert, a lot of these vendors don't even have the cards you're looking for already.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
like this is considered bulk. Like I think I don't know what do you know specifically what cards were being looked for? Cuz
Smuggler Copter was a big one. Want to
yeah,
say
that's the one
Wild
I
Growth
heard too.
Walker 2 for the Amalia combo decks, but like it was Smuggler Copter because Smuggler Copter had just gotten unbanned.
That one I can understand not having availability because one, it was trash for the event up until like a week or two before.
Yep.
And it probably got sold out as soon as that unbanned. I know on TCG Player, their shop was broken for Smuggler Copter
Yeah.
because of all the people hitting it. So I get it. Availability was rough, and that's the thing too, right? Like this came in like the ban announcement for with unbanning Smuggler Copter and the whole meta shift. I my optics are not lost there. That yeah, it sucks that that completely shifted everything with the meta.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like as somebody who's going to a high stakes event like that, you need to have your one deck in check, but two, maybe a backup deck, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know you
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. That's the thing.
And
People are like, this is on the vendors. No, this is on Wizards. No, this is on TCG Player. No, this is on local game stores. It's like, no, this is on you. You showed up to this fucking event and you dared to be like, I'm missing 5 cards of my 75 that I want to play, and these are the most
right,
important 5 cards of the 75 that I have. The store, the fucking vendors don't have it. This is the fucking worst game in the world.
right,
No,
yeah, yeah,
your lack of preparedness is no one else's fault.
and why not have at least a bit of a like replacement in there, right? Like I know, like when I was starting the Pioneer one, I had a few flex spots, or not flex spots, uh, uh, not selfless recruiter, the Flash one that makes a token,
Resolute
uh,
reinforcements.
resolute reinforcements. I had a couple of those in because I didn't have I think Dauntless Bodyguards or something. I
Uh,
don't know, or maybe it was some other 2-drop that I wasn't sure I was going to have in time.
sure.
I don't know, but like I forget which exactly, but still, I had a backup card to replace those cards. It wasn't optimal,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it was still a full legal functioning deck.
Yeah. And it's just like it was just insanity watching these people complain. And it was just like, guys, like I understand there's the frustration of like, oh, I ordered smuggler copters on the 5th and they didn't get here until the day after I left to go to the RC. I get that. Like I totally understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But to expect vendors to not have supply issues with the same cards that everybody's apparently looking for is insane.
Right. Why would you not call these vendors ahead of time and be like, "Hey, I'm going to be at this event. Will you be there? Can I order the card now and pick it up there?"
Yeah.
This is something you can do as a player. You can reach out
No, got
because
to blame everybody else. This is not my
the
fault.
vendors list is listed before the event. You know who's going to be there. Call before they get there and ask them, "Can you bring this card for me?"
Yeah.
Like this is insanity expecting them to carry every card because they're going to want to carry high value cards that they can sell that are going to move.
Yeah.
They, it's a money making thing.
Yes, it's because like it costs money, a ton of money to set up at these kind of events. A ton of money. Like
Not even to set up, but to get there, to
no
transport.
to because you have to pay to even sell there in the first place. You
Yeah,
have to pay to sell there. You have to pay to rent the truck. You have to pay the people you're bringing with you. You have to pay for hotel rooms. You have to pay for food. You have all these expenses going into that, and you want vendors to be like, well, this bulk rare that was selling selling on $1 online. I should just stock up on only these and make like marginal money off of them. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, maybe.
nah,
But like also like no. Why would you do that?
yeah, and to me, like yeah, it sucks that your card wasn't there, but that's on you.
Still on
Again,
you.
like I saw somebody being like trying to make the argument that, well, they were still testing the meta. You should have had your deck picked out before that,
Yeah.
and you should have had a backup deck, in my opinion.
Uh, my
Because
my favorite tweet of all of them, was the person who
Mhm.
was like, the vendors should be required to sell all Pioneer power level cards at a maximum of $5. And it's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? You
Oh
you were the
yeah,
most
yeah,
insane person I've ever heard of. I don't
wasn't
know who
somebody
I don't know who it was. It was just
yeah,
somebody, and I'm just like, this person should never be allowed to talk on the internet again. This take is so fucking bad, because what you're saying to vendors is you're not allowed to make money at these events. You can't make money at these events
yeah,
because you're
yep,
here. And it's just like, what did I just say? Look at all the costs that had to go into shipping all this
right,
stuff, these people, hotel rooms, all the things I just said. You want these people to make $0 for this? Well, then you're never going to get another fucking vendor again at an event.
right. And then card availability will be even harder.
Yes.
But like the thing is too, like I saw somebody too, they eventually found a card that they were looking for, but it was like the person, I don't know if it was a person or a vendor, wanted to charge them like $30 for a $10 card or something. But like
Um, mm,
like
that's
yeah, that's
that's
scummy.
that's
That's scummy on the
scummy.
vendor's part.
Yeah.
But that's scummy on the vendor's part for wanting to charge that much. But if you're looking at supply and demand,
Oh yeah, supply and demand says get your money.
like the law of supply and demand there says, oh yeah, somebody will pay $30 for that card if they're
Absolutely.
in the tournament. Yeah.
So
So
card availability, it's not on the vendors. I'm sorry, it's not. Because the amount of players that just hoard shit, because players are guilty of this too. Players just hoard shit. And
oh yeah, I'm guilty of that.
they never sell this shit to vendors. They just are like, this is my binder and these are the prices, and oh, I'm just holding these. You know, I'm holding these. And it's like, okay, well, you're causing, like, you understand that this is causing like a supply issue. Like the
Right.
players are also causing the supply issue by just holding shit. Like I have like
Yeah.
the amount of cards that I have that aren't being fucking used is insane. But like that could be causing, like, it's not causing a supply issue just on my end, but like there are likely thousands of players like me just holding cards,
Thousands of Dans.
just holding cards. Not, and
Yeah.
you know, it may not just be because like we're trying, because I'm not trying to like profit off of this stuff. Like I'm not like, boy, I'm holding on to these like Golgari rot farms hoping they're gonna jump up in price to $1 million. Like, no, it's just like I have a fuck ton of cards and they just
Yeah.
happen to be there. So like,
Well, and that's the thing. Like I keep a play set. That's what I like to try and shoot for is like a
uh-huh.
play set of each card. Granted, like when you start getting into uncommons, commons, like that's harder to track if you have a play set or not.
Yeah, you have to get, it's a lot of time like sorting through it. But like,
A lot more sort time. But yeah, like that to me isn't a problem. It's the people who have like 30 copies of Fury
yeah,
and they're just trying to flip them
yeah.
for cash or
Like,
something
yeah,
or for trades.
those
Yeah.
are the people, like those are the people you should be more mad at than vendors, because like those people refuse to sell to vendors, and I also get it. Vendors are like, here's 50% of TCG player low, and it's like, why would I ever want to like,
Yeah.
why would I ever want to give away like a $50 card for $25? Why would I ever
Yeah.
do that in a million years?
Well, that's because Dan, they have upkeep costs
Oh, I
like
know.
a store.
Oh, I know. I agree that the vendors need to make their money, but like going for 50% of TCG player low is insane. It's
Yeah,
insane.
it feels bad. It does feel bad. It's hard.
It's just like, hey, we want to have these cards, but we also don't want to pay, you know, remotely fair market value for them. And it's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? So
Mm.
like, it's on vendors a little bit, but card availability ultimately, and your lack of card availability for the deck you're trying to play at an event that you've known you're playing in for 3 months is your fault and no one else's.
Yeah. Yeah, the smuggler copter thing too. It's like why did you pick a deck with smuggler copter?
Yeah, if you knew you weren't going to, like, if you knew you had to buy a playset of Smuggler Copter from TCG Player, why'd you do that? Because like I bought a couple One Piece cards, like 2 play sets of One Piece cards,
Mhm.
back on the 14th. Let me see. I bought them from Cool Stuff Inc. Now I want to point out this is not Cool Stuff Inc. fault that this happened, because the post office is fucking stupid. Verifying on a robot. Come on, lock me in already. Like, holy fuck! I just want to like confirm it was the 14th. It's not. We're just sitting here. Yep, on the order placed on the 14th, shipped on the 15th. I still have not received this order. Now it's not Cool Stuff Inc.'s fault, because
No.
my the post office has delivered it to the wrong address twice now, twice, just for no reason. It's not even close. It's to the wrong fucking zip code. So like
What?
even if you bought from like Cool Stuff Inc., because like I ordered a package from them 3 days before and it came right on time. This package,
Yeah.
just for some reason, is going to take half a month to get to me, and that's insane. But like,
It's not cool. It's not their fault.
it's not
They
Cool Stuff
shipped
Inc.'s
it.
fault. They did everything right. Like
Yeah.
it was the next day they shipped it, and that's great. I love that. That's awesome. But like
Yeah.
that is what happens when you're trying to get shit. Like, hey, I placed this order half a month ago, and it's still not here. What are you fucking talking about? And it's like, well, it's because the post office sucks. You
Yeah.
know?
I know. I know for Eternal Weekend there was like a handful of sideboard cards I needed that I bought like 2 weeks before, but I also clicked the expedite shipping button to
Oh
make
well, yeah,
sure it got to me in time.
right.
Like it got to me in like 3 days.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like people like you got to understand like. You can't just be like, this like. Also, remember we're around Christmas time, and shit's getting sent to the post
Yeah.
office like a ton. Like this is like the post office is the most
Oh yeah.
busy. I used to work for the post office as a temp, and uh, boy, if there are people like me working at the post office still, and there for sure are, your package, like my package, is getting sent to the wrong location constantly because I
Just
just
because they're pissed at you.
no like like because the way it's set up is like, hey, if it's going to this a zip code in this area, throw it at this box, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, and then you throw it, and sometimes you miss, and
And it
you're like
goes in the
me,
wrong box.
and you're like me, and you're like, I don't give a fuck. And because like this is like a minimum wage job that I'm working overnight, and I'm fucking tired, and I don't want to be here, and it's almost time for me to go home, so I don't give a shit. So I'm just throwing packages at boxes and hoping they hit. And if they don't hit, oh well. I got caught one time, and like this woman just yelled at me for like 5 minutes, being like, why aren't you carrying? Like these people are missing their presents for Christmas, and it's like, we're at the 23rd. If you're sending your present on the 23rd for somebody to hit there for Christmas, like that's their fault, man.
God dang.
But like, yeah, you can't like let me be the first to tell you, do not trust the post office with getting your shit to you on time. Don't do it.
No. Nope. Holy moly. We live in a society.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to this: players need to start taking more responsibility for things. Like you're not. I'm sorry, you're not getting taken advantage of. You're not getting taken advantage of with card availability. Like card availability is ultimately on you. The deck list you submit needs to be your deck list, and if you can't submit that deck list, don't play that deck list. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think deck lists were due Friday night anyway,
Yeah,
right? Like they weren't due till like late Friday night.
yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those
Yeah.
insane things, man. And I don't know. Uh, I will
And
say, like,
imagine, oh my gosh, imagine what if they decided to start the event early? What if they decided to start it Friday because of
yeah,
all the time it was going to take? You wouldn't have even had time to go and look.
yeah, because your deck list would be due on Thursday, and there no vendors are open
Yeah.
on Thursday, and so
Yeah.
it's going to be you and like 50 other players looking for your last fucking cards before deck lists are due, driving around to every local game store in the Atlanta area and being like, "Hey, you got this thing? Hey, no, we haven't had this thing for weeks, man."
Yeah. Like, yeah. Oh my God. Like, that's just dinged in my head too. It's like, because they could have done that, right? They could have last minute changed start time, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I don't
So
know. Well, that probably would have been super feels bad,
oh,
but
there would have been an uproar, and quite frankly, that would have been a
yeah,
justified uproar. But like this card
that
availability
would have been
issue,
justified. Yeah,
this is all almost entirely on players.
I agree. Like the scalping the one instance I saw where it was a guy charging $30
Yeah,
for a
that
$10 card. That's really scummy. I can maybe see maybe like a 50% increase in
yes,
price. Maybe yeah, not three times the price.
right, right, right.
Yeah, and I don't even know how true that was, but that is what somebody tweeted on Twitter
I mean,
or
people
X.
tweet many things on Twitter, and I'm thinking they were looking for uh for just like it felt like a lot of it was like clout chasing. Honestly,
That could be too. Like yeah, everybody just seemed to be like the whole event. Everybody just seemed really mad about everything the
yeah,
entire time.
it was just constant bitching, and it like for me as somebody who wanted to go very badly, qualified to go, and then wound up not being able to go, like seeing all those people just bitching the entire time about the event was just like, then why the fuck are you there? Like, give me your plane ticket, give me your
Yeah,
hotel room. Like, if you don't want to be there, just say that, and I'll go instead. Like, come on.
right. Yeah, like this is a big feels bad. But we as a community, a Magic community, I feel like can learn from this, can do better. Um, the Amelia combo too. Like I feel like that was going to be a card availability issue no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
bans or no bans, because that was a new combo deck that just came out. That was super fast, and it was all because of the new set that dropped 2-3 weeks before.
Yep. So yeah,
So
yeah, because Wild Growth Walker before that point was just like a bulk common, or like a bulk
yeah,
uncommon, and Rally the Ranks was also like a bulk uncommon or a bulk rare. Up until people were like, "Oh wait, we can add some inevitability or like some redundancy with this Rally the Ranks card." So that way, even if you kill both of our stuff, we can just go, all right, rally the ranks. All right, they're back. Good luck.
so it's Wild Growth Walker.
Yes.
Is it one word? Wild,
No, it's 2 words.
Wild Growth Walker. It's not a card according to TCG
It's
Player.
100% a card.
Is like I'm just trying to understand the
Oh,
card.
wild
Like
growth is 1 word.
okay.
It's whenever a creature you control explores, put a +1/+1 counter on Wild Growth Walker and you gain 3 life.
Oh, this is from original Ixalan. Okay.
Yes. And Amalia is whenever you gain life, explore with this card. So having those 2 cards on the battlefield at the same time, you got Amalia turn 2, Wild Growth Walker on turn 3, card
Yeah.
that also gains you life also on turn 3, and then you just
You just win.
you just
Loop it.
loop it until Amalia hits 20 power, wipes the board, and then you swing for lethal damage.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. And you can do that consistently on turn 3. Well, fairly
That's
consistently on turn 3.
fantastic. That's fantastic. It's spicy. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's a fun. I didn't play it. I've never played it. So, I kind of gave up on
Yeah.
Pioneer the second I couldn't go anymore. So
Yeah, that's fine. Getting to standard. We need to start playing standard. um I don't know. Is there any more points we want to make on this topic? I
on
feel
this, no, I think we talked to death on this. I think there's a lot of people just being. I do think like this is going to be like, oh, boomer take, but like there's a lot of people just complaining about things to complain because they felt like there was no control over this situation. It's like no, there's plenty of control over the situation.
yeah. I agree. I think there's a bit of no, not that. I was about to say something I was going to regret. So
Yes,
I broke.
you're
I don't
broken.
know
It's
where.
fine.
Yeah, I broke. Like my
Uh,
brain is just like consumed with like all this anger everybody had
yeah,
at stuff that was like avoidable.
yeah. A lot of this stuff, at least in terms of card availability, it felt avoidable. Tournament length was
Hmm.
definitely unavoidable from
For the players,
player perspective. Absolutely
I
avoidable from
agree.
a WotC / tournament organizer / stream hack perspective. and then Proxies is just like an insane offshoot of card availability. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about? How did we get to here?
Yeah. Yeah, in the legacy Reddit thread, I all or not Reddit thread in the legacy Reddit, I always see people being like, "What's going to be our proxies the future of legacy? These cards are slowly dying off because they're getting ripped and torn." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll figure it out when nobody can buy them anymore."
Yeah, I mean the dual land thing, like that's why Legacy can't be a supported format ultimately to me, is because there's the problem of the
They,
reserve list.
and the
Like
dual, yeah, they can't print the they yeah they,
they
yes,
can't print the dual lands, but like you can
right.
clearly print the dual lands. Just print like I get that people want to have their cards be something,
Have be valuable, yeah.
but like be valuable, but like also if you want a format to get supported from WotC outside of one weekend a year, or
They need to get
it's
yeah.
4 weekends a year, but you get my point. Like you need these to be
There has to be a
repeated.
way. There has to be a way for Wizards to make money consistently on that format.
Yes, and with the reserve list as it's currently set, it will Wizards can never make money off of the legacy format, and therefore Wizards will never support the legacy format in a wide scale event outside of Eternal Weekend.
Right. Yeah. Especially because like a lot of the stuff too, like that ends up like going off is random pioneer or not pioneer. I'm sorry, random. What is it?
Commander?
Commander crap. Yeah. Yeah. Like Commander Boulder Gate, Commander Legends or whatever.
Yep.
Like that. The initiative cards from that, a lot of them were like uncommons.
Yeah.
And like, oh no,
Yeah. Boros
these
Initiative. Good
cheap,
day.
these cheap uncommons are breaking the format.
Mm. Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like there was way too much bitching over the RC weekend. Um,
Whinging.
Obviously, we contributed to that, but on like a different aspect of it. But still, uh, I,
I, I don't know. I feel like we had a conversation about it here,
yeah,
and it was
I just feel
more.
like a lot of people were just screaming at the internet, being like, "Please agree with me," and if you don't agree with me, you're an awful person.
Yeah, I I agree with that too. There was a lot of just listen to me.
Yeah, a lot of I feel like a lot of clout chasing was had over the weekend. A lot of insulated circles were made over the weekend, and that's not good. That's not
Yep.
good. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Nope. Yeah, we need to get out of our echo chambers because the internet is really good at doing that.
Yeah. Other than that, I have nothing else to talk about really.
With that being said, if you disagree with us 100%, throw your flame hate down in the comments below. Uh, give us a thumbs down, give us interaction,
Yep.
whatever. Let us know you're mad.
Yeah.
If you agree with us in any way, let us know what you liked, what we said, or how maybe these things can be prevented in a future that in a way that we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I'm not a genius. I've had too many concussions for that.
That's true. I've witnessed both of them.
You missed one.
Oh.
There's at least three.
Oh.
Anyways, with that on the YouTube side, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Dan, on the podcast side.
On the podcast, I just review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or if you're listening on a podcast app that allows you to review, just review us there.
And with that being said, keep calm and spike on.